I'm so glad you're all here. I hope you had a beautiful day. And I definitely had a decent day. I cannot complain. It was a nice one. I had worked and then I went to the gym. And at the gym, let me tell you, Patsy killed my legs for sure. Like when you go to a gym, um, for some time, you get to know people. And, for the first time, I got a chance to work out with Patsy. And now we have a challenge. So we have a little challenge for every Friday. Um, I can't really move my legs. My bottom part of my legs have not been worked out in a very long time. And yes, the workout we did tonight was amazing. So, yes, I'm one of those people who like to have challenging workouts and things that will push me to the next level. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I want to remind you all to like, subscribe, and please share all of these videos because there's helpful information that we all share with each other. You guys share with me, and I share with you guys. And to collectively, we have a good collaboration. That's what I'd like to call it. At least we collaborate on ideas, and then hopefully we put our ideas to practice. If it's something that resonates with you, hopefully you put it to practice. So definitely make sure you subscribe and you share and turn on your notification bell. Definitely do that so you know when I will be on. And let's get right into it. Tonight, I would like to discuss what is an appropriate age to talk to children about drugs. So I think I think for me personally, I think that talking to children about drugs, I think as soon as they can understand certain things, um, kind of like when you're teaching a child not to allow people to touch them in certain places and to tell. So I think at that point is when it would be appropriate to talk about drugs and how it's not good for you to use. I don't believe that we should sugarcoat anything with children because they understand. I feel like maybe they're a little bit immature in some of their ways, but I think if you teach them properly and not sugarcoat things, they will understand exactly what you mean, why you say it, and the purpose for it not being good in their lives. So, definitely, I think at any age that you discuss, um, not like sexual things, like not allowing people to do things to them, I think that's when you can insert that little drug situation. um for example, I think that also I think that a lot of our television ads don't really talk about not using drugs anymore. I don't know. I mean, I've been disconnected because I don't watch TV. So you guys tell me, like, what do you think? Are there still commercials that are anti-drugs? I know there are the truth commercials that are anti-smoking cigarettes, which are great. And I think that I hope that is effective to people, and I hope that people are heeding to the fact that their health is their wealth. Yes. Without wealth, you cannot do much of anything. Grab the book. That's a quote in my book. Please grab it. You will enjoy it. Comment below. Tell me, when do you recall someone giving you that informational session, teaching, education about not using drugs? So comment below. Definitely want to hear what age you were. For me, I don't remember. I do remember just, knowing that drugs were bad. I don't remember the age that I was taught, but I definitely, did I fear using drugs? I don't think I feared it. I just thought that, what my parents told me about you not having a good life being on drugs, I think that just was enough for me. For other people, maybe they need more. Everybody is different. So you have to deal with everybody accordingly. Let's see. So, what age were you? I really would like to know. That's very interesting for me to know what topic, especially with this topic, because I think it's important that we talk about drugs and how it really does tear things apart. That's another t shirt that I have. It's called Addiction Kills the Family. And definitely go below in the description, order it, wear it so that we all can become encouraged about not using drugs. But I think I really truly believe that drugs have a few different effects on people. One, it affects your thinking, your thought process, how you interact with people. Two, it affects the people that you love because they're seeing you at a point where you are destroying your body, which is your temple. Three, being becoming an addict to any type of drug, it will become your downfall. You will lack income because as quick as it comes, it will be as quick as it goes. Because for whatever reason, that particular drug that you use will keep you in bondage. And that's something that you really should not want to be a part of. If you want to be in bondage for something good. Be in bondage about being an activist, setting people free from whatever injustice is that happened to them. But that's definitely not a bondage that you want to be a part of. Uh, I think that children nowadays are so much more mature and they've been exposed to so many different things that telling them about drugs early, I don't think it's a bad idea. I really don't. Um, they, I mean, like I've even heard reports of toddlers having needles in their book bag. It's like, did the parent put it in there and forget to take it out? Like, these are scary things that our kids are being exposed to. So, at that very point, I think it's important to tell them why it's not good to take part in that kind of lifestyle. I said lifestyle, yes. Because like with anything, what you do, you become. So being an addict is a lifestyle because now you're doing whatever it takes to make sure you get the result that you want, which is a instant gratification high. Gym. You go to the gym because you get the results that you want, which could be less body fat, less weight, more muscles. That is your lifestyle. Um, these are just examples of that what having drugs in your system, how it is definitely like a life altering change for everybody around you. So let's just say you are an addict. Now you become so wrapped up in your addiction, now you start stealing from your family. You start stealing even from babies that live in your house. You'll eat up all of their food because of an increased appetite, maybe for sweets or just an increased appetite in general. Um, then, on top of that, who knows what kind of surroundings you may expose your family to. If you are a teenager or an adult, we all have friends. Maybe you will invite your friend over, and now you have your house and the people that live in that susceptible to whatever you guys are carrying. And how about the mind part? It definitely alters your mind. Maybe you'll become more paranoid. Maybe you will forget more. Maybe you just won't care about anything anymore and just won't keep yourself up. And you'll just be dirty every day. You'll lose you'll lose teeth, you'll lose skin, you'll lose everything. You lose organs because, all of that stuff is killing your body. So I I truly believe if your child is being taught about, different things that violations that they should not accept and should tell about, that should be one of them too. There's so many people slipping different types of drugs in people's drinks and, just doing all of these horrible things to them. These are these are very, very bad implications of using drugs and becoming an addict, you know? And like the pain that you that pain that you impart on people in general, even if they're not your family, but there's people you have friends maybe. These people are caring. Hey, Corey, what's going on? Today's topic is about how soon or what age do you think is appropriate to talk to children about drugs? Do you remember when you were, how old you were when you had that conversation? Did you even have the conversation? Tell me, what do you think? Um, and so it's definitely a downward spiral. 12, okay, cool. Um, did you ever, were you ever curious to use drugs? Have you ever used drugs? Um, and now we're finding out there are kids who are using a lot earlier than you expected. I forget what movie it was. I think it was Crash. I saw Crash and my heart was breaking because the young lady, her parents were well off. Her father was like a judge or something like that, or a lawyer, and her mom was like a doctor or something. And she was about 15 years old and she was an addict. And she even ran away from home and had a pimp in the inner city. It was so sad. One of my friends overdosed in the neighborhood. I was so scared after hearing what happened to him. Then I asked about it. I was a kid. Did he pass away? Um, that's crazy, guys. Like, and people think that kids are too young to do anything. I don't think so. I think we're the ones who are guiding them and leading them. So if we're guiding them and leading them, then how come you would censor teaching them about the importance of not using drugs? Oh, that's sad. Oh man, that's really sad. He said that his friend passed away from overdosing. So it's serious. It's serious. I can't even say it doesn't matter what age you are. I don't think people understand what overdosing could mean for them. It's very important to know your genetics and where you come from because you never know. You may come from an addictive family. And that right, teaching them at an early age is very important. Yeah, we teach them every day. We teach them how to talk. We teach them how our mannerisms, and then they take it and do it with it what they please, and then they just get older. Um, but I truly, 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 truly believe that addiction is one of the things that I don't know. I believe it's a lot more prevalent than people actually want to admit. You know, what about the people who are functioning addicts that actually can go to work, come back home, and maybe use once or twice before they go to bed, and they're just maybe teetering that line or on becoming a full blown addict? There's people like that all the time. A lot of people. A lot of people. Um, I don't know. It is very, 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 very discouraging. But at the same time, I think we can get on the right path if we take the necessary steps to educate people. Even if they're not kids anymore, you can still educate somebody. You can still educate someone on, um, why using drugs is a bad idea. Um, You know, I truly think that I truly believe that it also depends on the person. Some people like adventure more, and to them, trying something for the first time is an adventure, or they heard this high makes you feel like this, and they say, "Oh, I want to feel that." What would possess them to want to feel like that kind of high? I don't know, but everybody is different. Um, I don't want to be that kind of high where I'm ripping my clothes off or ripping people's face off or eating their head or eating their brains because I'm that high. I don't want that. I don't think that's desirable. I don't think that's cute. It is. It can be. Shoot, it could be your death. It could be the end of your life. Um, so definitely, people, teach your kids. Teach your kids as soon as they can understand. Just teach them. Um, so I want to take a little break and remind you to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you know when we come on. Call in if you'd like, 201-540-9104, or you can actually chat below or comment below if you want to hear a topic that is interesting to you, or if you want to talk about something, or if you want to hear me talk about something and we communicate. Again, this is a show about talking about anything and everything. Yes, it's going to be times where it gets uncomfortable, but being uncomfortable can sometimes take you to the next level to being comfortable, right? So definitely, make sure you tune in for that. Um, I also think that let's see. Alcohol is a drug too. People play around with alcohol like it's nothing. And surprisingly, kids play around with alcohol. What age? I'm not sure because I was never around kids who used alcohol at a very young age. So I'm not sure, but I've heard of people being cruel and putting alcohol in the baby's bottle because they wanted them to fall asleep, but now the baby's an addict. It's, you know, kids go through withdrawal. Some kids are born and needing to withdraw. Like, these kids are susceptible to a lot of things, and you might as well just go ahead and tell them why. And I don't think you have to be that quiet about it. I don't think you have to sugarcoat it. I think you can come out right out and say, listen, this is what drugs can do to you. I hate to say it, but look at X, Y, and Z for my family. This is the life that they're living, and this is what the result of using drugs can do. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with telling a child or giving them a yep, or giving them a real example of someone that that is close to them. Um, you know, I think we sugarcoat things for kids too much sometimes to the point where we think, oh, we want to protect them. But protecting them really means telling them what the truth is, not giving them bits and pieces because we're uncomfortable talking to them about it, you know? And you can always tell your child, like, look, this is a private conversation between the family. Going to run and tell your friends about what we talk about is probably not the best idea because you don't know what their parents are teaching them. But this is because I care about you so much. This is what I want to teach you, you know? So, I mean, parents can go about it in that way too. I think you'd be very surprised. Maybe you will open some dialogue about maybe your child will say, well, my friend in school is on drugs and I just didn't know what to say. You know, you just never know. You have no idea. When these kids go to school, you think that they're innocent, but remember, they're going with other kids and you don't know the backgrounds or the family backgrounds or the histories of where those other kids are coming from. So they could be coming from hell and coming to school and exposing your child to what hell is. So definitely prepare them for whatever could come their way, you know? Um, have you spoken to your daughter about drugs, Corey? And how old was that if you did? You know, it's very important. I believe it is very important to have that discussion. I think that's one of the most important discussions to have with a child because, you know, people, I think everybody will dibble and dabble with alcohol, just, going from high school to college. Um, but even that's something that you can talk to your child about. Like, hey, if you dibble and dabble in alcohol, X, Y, and Z is an alcoholic in our family, and it might not be a good idea for you to do that. Maybe that will be the thing that will help them not do it because they don't want to be like that family member. Maybe it won't work. Who knows? But at least you tried and you told them. Um, and as far as drugs go, you can tell, you know, oh, what's so funny too? My coworker has a teenage child. I think she's in the 11th grade. And she said the school was on lockdown because one of the 11th or 10th graders was locked up was getting arrested. Female girl, right? Female girl was getting arrested for selling drugs, for selling weed in school. Okay. Okay. I forget the age you are when you're in 11th, 10th, and 11th grade, but you got to be like 16, maybe 15, 16 in that time frame. If there's kids in there selling weed in outside the classroom, they definitely know more than what we think or perceive. I'm not saying that her parents never told her not to be a drug dealer, but the girl was getting it from somewhere. Maybe someone in her family was having her sell it to her classmates. You never know. But think about it too. The classmates that were buying were actually using. Mm, he said that's a huge issue in public schools for Patterson, the drug usage. Like, guys, how do you think we can stop, the vicious cycle from going on and on and on? I actually have to remind you too that some of these kids already have addiction in them because they were born that way. So, especially in the schools, yeah, yeah, yeah. Some of these kids are born addicts and they withdraw as infants. But remember, if they were born an addict, then they already have a taste, and the sensitivity to drugs is that much higher, is that much greater for them. So talk to your kids, even if you adopt, find out if you can what kind of medical history the parents come from so that you know how to prepare this child for their future and you know what topics are very important to discuss with them because they've already been susceptible to that particular thing. Um, I think as adults, we should invest more in the school system. So yes, we send our kids to school to get an education and we go to work and then we go about our business. But I think there should be the career days where each parent, if they can, each parent should, really think about going in and being that parent to talk about it, talk about career day. Maybe the school should incorporate that back in the curriculum, having parents and having other people come in to do career day. You know, we're teaching them all these different things, but we're not preparing the kids for what's to come and what's to look forward to. Imagine if you had, as a child, if you had someone come in who talked about business or talked about religion or talked about politics, and there's something that may have resonated in you, and you said, "Well, I want to be just like that because I see what it really is, real life. The real life person came to me," and then you topple that, or then you piggyback that off of the actual schooling that they're getting and you create a well-rounded child, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great idea. Reinvent the career day for our students. Have people come in again. I think it would be great. I think it would be a great example for the kids so that it lessens the gap between adult and child, and maybe now the child will listen more to the adult. So they'll use the adult's life experiences to kind of curb them from going down and then go up. So definitely, definitely, I think we should definitely think about how we can, invest more resources. I mean, and I think people should volunteer with this. It'd be nice to get paid, yes, but I think you should give of your time. You can get other things, other things that will help you feel like you did a good job or fulfilled or compensate you some other way. But drugs, guys, I think drugs need to be talked about as soon as a child needs, as soon as you have that conversation about, um, what should not be done, what's appropriate and what's not appropriate sexually by other people older than them. So I believe, if you feel like your child can understand that, incorporate that drug conversation too. And don't be afraid to explain to them, what family members may be suffering from an addiction. And also don't shame that family member who may be under the addiction of something, because you can always say, they're trying to get help. They're trying to get help for whatever it is. And even though they're in a bad position now, your child can still learn and still respect them no matter what. Because at the end of the day, it's a choice that, someone made. And unfortunately, that is the repercussion of their choice. The sad part about here in Patterson is most of the addicts come from towns up country. The suburbs send their undesirable to no. The suburbs send the undesirable to them. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I think Patterson is a beautiful town and it has a lot of nice things, but it's crazy that people throw away their trash for the inner city. Hey, what's going on? How are you, Caracat? I think I pronounced your name wrong. I'm sorry. Um, but thank you for joining us in today. We're actually talking about what is an appropriate age to discuss drugs to a child. And I believe that when we have that discussion about what's appropriate and not appropriate, like as far as sexually, like, someone touching or violating a child, is when I feel like if they understand that, then they can understand the drugs, and how it's not good for their system. And and otherwise, not only is it not good for their system, but not good for them, but their system. Like, imagine your liver or your pancreas or your heart turning from this beautiful, vibrant red to this black because of whatever substance you are ingesting. I'm a recovering addict, and the younger they know, the better. I'm thankful that you shared that, and stay on that path and stay recovered. Don't jump off at all. Do not jump off at all, because you have too much to give to this world and to teach people. One day, if you want to ever share your story, I have a series. It's called Our Lives Seen Through My Eyes, and I have different people talk about topics that, just seeing through their eyes how it affects their family, and you never know who might be encouraged by what you say. A big problem was not knowing at the right. Yes, see, you guys, this is a perfect example. Here's someone who is a recovering addict, and part of the reason was they didn't know at the right age. Wow. It's hard, guys. It's hard. I know, as a parent, you want to protect your child, but protecting your child is keeping them aware of what's going on. In my opinion, you got to keep people aware of what's going on. The more we don't talk about it, and this is the same thing that we resonate every night. The more we do not talk about things is the more we stay divided. The more we do talk about things, we just a lot of things that can happen. We heal. We become together. We become a force, a nucleus that can take over the world in a positive way. And I still firmly believe that The more we all get together like this and then go out, is the more the tide will change. The tide will change. My children knew my history from the time they could understand. Amen. And I'm pretty sure they say, you know what? I do not want to be that way. And I don't want, not that that's a bad thing, but it's just they don't want to suffer. They don't want to, because for your kids, they may not even be able to come out of it. One little smoke, one little drink, one little puff of whatever could be the end for them, because now it's in their system, it's in their genes, it's encoded in your genes. And just like how we say generally generational curses passed down, so does everything else, guys. Don't think you're too far from being, underneath the bus. Depression, I believe, is a generational thing. Anxiety is a generational thing. And it's important that we share these things. And I believe that the more we share, again, I keep saying that, the more we share, the less uncomfortable you feel about expressing, your weaknesses. Because all it is a weakness at the end of the day. They can make a choice, but they knew what can happen. Absolutely. And that's the point that I like to make. When you know what can happen, you can't say no one ever told you, because someone did. Someone told you. So definitely, make sure our children know what's going on. They have to know. And at the end of the day, our children are our future. I want some Social Security. So if they not working, then I won't get no money. That's just, it's funny. It sounds funny, but it's the truth. If our kids don't work and if our kids don't progress, then neither will society. You know, we have all of these technological advances, but we need to get more humanological advances. And if we keep teaching our kids the human aspect of life, then I believe that trait of humanesque, and I'm making words up, but humanesquity will come back. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I really believe. Being human will be great again. And it takes us to doing that. It really does. Remember to like, subscribe, share, turn on your notification bell so you know when we are on. Definitely chime in on the chat. Definitely share your experiences, and definitely comment below about anything that you hear. And I think at the end of the day, what we learned tonight is that it's never too young to be educated on the repercussions of drug usage. We've learned that it can destroy your family, it can destroy your health, it can destroy your ability to have relationships, it can destroy your ability to create an income and to keep an income. We also learned that it can run in the family. And we also learned that even at a young age, kids are seeing their friends die. You know, um, let us let that not be the reason why we go to another child funeral because they overdosed on a drug, and then traumatize the other kids because their friend is no longer here and they're young, right? So it was great talking to you guys. I hope that you learned something. Yes, he got the spelling too. I hope that you learned something. Let's make being human great again. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Hello World. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow evening. Tell me what you do tomorrow. I hope that the rest of your night is great. I hope that everything you do for this week, the weekend, and to your future will be amazing. Never quit, never give up. Keep sharing, keep healing, keep loving, keep hope alive. And that's it for tonight, guys. Love ya.